And I would say for those of you considering therapy, like, I give it a shot. It only works if you're ready to put in the work.
Yes.
It's like it's not a magic drug. It's not a magic anything. It's a way. It's, if anything, like, I don't know, Rafiki showing you the reflection that you need to see. So, like, they're merely a mirror and they're asking you questions that really point back at yourself. And if they're not there to solve your problems, they're there to help guide you and kind of help you question your own beliefs and reality. And sometimes you have breakthroughs, sometimes you have paradigm shifts. And I think that's something you got to be ready for, because you got to really take a deep dive into the icky waters of yourself. And much of which sorry if I'm going on for so long.
No, keep going.
Like, sometimes looking at yourself isn't the best part, because we often end up numbing ourselves with distractions. And I think I was doing that for a while. Once my son moved, there was a gap of time. Like, Saturdays no longer spending time with him. I think it's been my coping, I think, since college. Breakup. There's a gap. I throw myself into work. And then I didn't let myself process it, but it was festering. And then the loneliness from it kept growing. But then therapy, she didn't fix it, but talking about it helped. And then her being an artist is like, dude, you're an artist. Like, create. Use whatever the emotion is as a energy to create something. I kind of did. So it was a video instead, because there's so many other things right now. I don't have time to do another dance video, to be honest. But yeah, that's my take on it. It's great. So
Therapy's good. I've had it since I was very young. I've had so much therapy in my life, to the point where, like, when I found out schools had school therapists, I would just go hang out. I'd spend my lunches and just hang out in the room with our school counselor and just talk. And, once you get used to talking about your feelings and bouncing it off with someone back and forth, like, it's amazing. And I would not be the woman I am today, as understanding and forgiving and, all of that, if it wasn't for therapy. I'd be some off the wall
based off the stories you shared.
Yeah. Experiencing unfortunate things at a young age, seeing things, incidents you shouldn't see,
sending your whole cheerleading squad to the hospital.
Oh my gosh, college accidents. but yeah, like, there are certain things you go through in life, and if you don't know how to cope with it, it can really spiral, and it can eat away at all your family relationships, work relationships, intimate relationships. You can feel like the world's out to get you, and it's easy to fall into your life circumstances and feel like you're the victim, and you can be the victim, but you don't want to carry that on forever. You want to kind of be able to come up out of it and grow.
Yeah, there's that saying, because when you said that, what came up for me was that it's not your fault, but it's your responsibility.
Yes.
Life happens, man, but it's not your fault. Fucking economy went to shit, but it's your responsibility to try to make something happen.
Yeah.
And as tough as it is, but easier said than done. And damn, you're right into the deep end for this one, man. Yeah, and then I think that's and I think here in LA, I don't know how it is in the other places, in other cities, we're lucky to have other forms of therapy, such as dance movement therapy, paint therapy. Some people like the rage rooms, even though it's not necessarily like the artist stuff. It's funny because how the therapy always it's going back to something active or creative, which is what much of, as far as at the time of this recording, Western society doesn't really value.
Yeah.
Like,
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, therapy doesn't just have to be sitting in a room with a licensed specialist talking about your feelings. You can be sitting in your room playing music, meditating. I journal a lot. So if something happens and I don't want to go off the deep end and yell at somebody, I will write my feelings out on a piece of paper in my journal. I'll date it. And then I'll go back the next day and read it. And if I still feel strongly, I might talk to the person, but usually I don't. After I've journaled my feelings, they're there, they're out of my head, they're on the paper, and I've expressed myself without burning any bridges or,
Do you guys have tools in what you do and how to process your own emotions?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If someone says something to me that hurts me and they don't realize it's hurt me, but it did. Today, Emeroy said So, but like that, and I'll have intrusive thoughts that'll keep me up at night. So I'll start to stir and I'll start to think over and over what was said, what could have been done, what was my part in it. And instead I just say, you know what? I don't care what time it is. I don't care what's tomorrow. Let me get up and do this right now. And I keep my notebook on my nightstand with a pen. I turn on the light real quick and I just start writing. And I just write it out. And it doesn't matter how it sounds. I just say how I feel. This person said this, did this. This is how I feel. I ask my questions. Did they do because of this, that, blah, 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 and get it out and then look at it. And I close the notebook and I put it away. And it's getting it out. It's just,
better than letting it stir in your mind and it becomes more in front of you. It almost feels tangible or like you can see it. And then,
it really helps. That's a big one.
Do you have any?
I journal as well. I've been kind of, I need to put it back into practice. The past couple of weeks have just been kind of crazy. So, journaling definitely does help. I think I have 3 full, now I'm on my 4th, but just journaling feelings. Actually, when I was on the plane, I had this conversation with this person, just kept playing in my head. And I was like, okay, I need to write this out. And I just wrote out this imaginary conversation. And I honestly haven't thought about it since.
Huh.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is very therapeutic. It helps me see that whatever is in my head is actually, it's real, but it also everything gets bogged up in there. And you can be, it can just be really tumultuous. And then you're just playing it over and over and it bleeds into your everyday life. It bleeds into how you do things. And then if you don't deal with it up here, it'll definitely it'll make me forgetful. It'll make me oh crap, I need to do this. And then it's this downward spiral of everything just getting affected. So that's where I'm at right now. I need to go and journal. It's honestly really, really helpful. It's fun. And then it helps me be creative. It helps me see things, especially when you're really busy or you have a 9-to-5 and you're I'm just so tired. I just just because you have a 9-to-5 and you're physically tired, that also comes with emotional stress and emotional buildup as well. And the more that you that you don't deal with it, it just kind of keeps going and building. So deal with your stuff.